What's up, y'all? We just got the latest chapter of Kagurabachi, Chapter 71. We about to dive into it. I just gotta be honest with you guys. This was a sad chapter. Like this was like some Lifetime type movie special. Like far as everything that happened with, you know what I'm saying, Iori's mother. This was really. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't ready. By the time I got to the end of the chapter, I'm just like sitting there like, damn. Why I had to end like that? Like, why did it have to end like that? To know that she fought a disease for a whole year and then passed away. I feel like she died happy though, and this is why I'm gonna say that, because she got to see her daughter and, you know what I'm saying, her daughter's father get along so well towards her passing that I feel like she was able to die with a smile on her face. I'm not saying it's a good thing because it's sad that she passed away, but I feel like she was able to pass, you know what I'm saying, you know, due to them, you know, forming a bond with one another, due to, you know, the father and daughter, you know, gaining that relationship. I feel like she held on as long as she could so that they can form that relationship, because had she had died earlier when they first met one another or reunited, they probably would have, it would have probably been resentment towards one another, or at least the daughter would have resented her father, you know, and felt like, you know, had he had been there, maybe her mom would have passed away. So she held on long enough for her, you know, her daughter and her ex-husband to kind of form a bond. So I think that's very noble. That's what made the chapter very sad. Like the stuff dealing with their mom, you know, with Samura's ex-wife and Iori's mother, that was some sad stuff right there. But again, this is one of those chapters that really have you saying, what the heck truly happened in that war? Like, yo, what happened in all those years ago in that war? And it looked like we might actually get it in the upcoming chapter, because it looks like the flashbacks continue, you know what I'm saying, just based off of how this chapter ends. So we're gonna, it looks like we're gonna find out what exactly happened. I mean, I'm thinking it's gonna be some devastating stuff where we look at these sword bearers and we don't view, we as the readers will no longer view them as heroes. It might even get to the point where we might even start rooting for the Hishaku group. Like we might even be like, hey yo, you guys deserve your revenge, man. You deserve that, man. Go ahead and get that. I think all of us will feel like that by the time we actually find out what actually happened, because it's too many times where they show us in the story that, yo, these people can't cope with what they had to do all those years ago. When you look at Samura and all his interactions, like, yo, he feel like his hands is tainted with blood, and, you know, innocent blood at that, and that's why he feel like he can't go on. He can't continue to be the person that everyone expects him to be. He's not a hero. So I'm very curious what that flashback is going to entail. And the master swordsman, you know, we still don't know his name. I want to see what, hey yo, I just pictured this dude on the battlefield just like, you know what I'm saying, like, give me more blood, and just like straight going around taking out everybody in his path, friend, foe, everybody, to the point where they're like, yo, this dude, he got to go to jail. He's got to be contained after the shit he did on that alley. I feel like that's how it's going to be eventually in the future. But yo, we about to get into it. This whole chapter is a recap. We didn't get no Chihiro, no, you know what I'm saying, no Hiko, no Toto, no, what's the other girl? I mean, the other dude named Kaguri. We didn't get any of them in this chapter, man. So I hope you guys are ready for this one. For me, I really enjoyed this chapter. It's crazy how this was a flashback, like type of slice of life type of, you know what I'm saying, chapter. And I enjoyed it just because everything we got. And those last few panels, oh my gosh, with Yura, I'm curious what Yura is speaking of, because he talking about some crazy stuff about to go down in the future. So I'm curious what he's talking about, and hopefully we find out soon. But make sure you subscribe, hit that bell. I greatly appreciate it. Let's try to get this to 100 likes. You know what I'm saying? You know what? Nah, man, we ain't going for small numbers. Let's get this to 200 likes, you know what I'm saying? And let's get into it. So the chapter pretty much starts off, we get a flashback. It takes place 9 years ago. Iori is currently 8 at this point in time, which means she's 17, maybe about to turn 18, so she is still in high school. I was curious, I said that in a couple chapters, I was curious if whether she was in high school or actually like a freshman in college, but it seems as if she's in high school just based off her age. She's 17 in present day, 8 in the flashback. What you see is where, it takes place where they're in the hospital. You see that, Iori's mother collapsed. Luckily Iori was there to call the, police and medics so that they could take her to the hospital. We find out her name is actually, Inori. Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. That's the name of, Iori's mother. You got it where Samura actually goes to the hospital as well, and he says like, it was a long time no see. I haven't seen you in quite some time, and you got it where, the mother is saying you need to take care of your daughter because I'm sick. I will be in here for quite some time until I get better. And you got it with Samura saying, I can't touch my daughter. These hands been stained with too much blood. And we get a little glimpse of the actual war. We see Samura hand holding his enchanted blade, and you just see bodies all around him. That's what I'm saying. Like, whenever they show us a scene, a flashback, or just a little glimpse of what took place in that battle, it just seems like it was just straight madness, straight chaos. Like, you're not gonna go into this and walk out being the same person, that you was before you got into that battlefield. But you see that it's affecting him. He's like, I don't want to ever touch my daughter with these hands that's been stained with blood. And I feel like the blood that he's referring to is innocent blood. I'm telling you, man, that Joker's gonna be on some Anakin Skywalker. Like, we didn't just kill the men, we took out the women and children. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a scene like that, I'm telling you, man. Hey, remember this point in time, man. I want y'all to be like, Nero, you said it in the video. You said it. I want y'all to tell me that. But, you got it where he's like, I can't hold my daughter because of these hands are stained. You got it where his ex-wife is saying like, come on, man. Like, you always said that. Stop living in the past. Your daughter's right here in the present. That's enough. Stop looking back. Stop looking backwards and look forward. You need to stop it. So you got it where Samura does take his daughter. He's walking home with her. He says he needs to make a stop, and he stopped by a dojo. It seems to be a police dojo, and Samura has been teaching the police how to defend themselves by teaching them basic swordsmanship skills. Now, that right there in itself, I feel like is his way of somewhat trying to redeem himself from his sins of the past. Like, this is him like feeling like, if I could show these guys how to defend themselves, they can protect the innocent. This would be a somewhat of an atonement for my past actions. That's why I feel like that's the only reason he's been, trying to help these guys out in the police department. But you have it where these students, that's learning swordsmanship from Samura, they go up to Iori and they're like, you're his daughter? We didn't know he had a daughter. Do you know how amazing your father is? He's one of the sword bearers. Because of him, we're able to live the life that we live. And they're all praising him. And you have it where Iori, she doesn't want to hear that. He's like, oh really? He's a hero? Nah, he's not a hero, because a hero wouldn't abandon his wife and his daughter. And to a certain extent, she does have a point. She has a valid point. Why would you do that? But then again, there's another side to it. We do know why he abandoned them, and pretty much he's suffering from PTSD. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's what he's suffering from. His actions in that war, in that battlefield all those years ago, it's all that reflects in his mind. That's all that plays back in his mind. So how could he live a normal life after doing something like that? And we still don't know the ins and outs of what he actually did. Like, he might have also been just killing for fun, as opposed to killing to defend his nation. I mean, we just don't know. And then we have another flashback of Iori asking her mother, like, who is my father? How was he? And you got it where the mom is actually telling you, like, he's the worst. He's totally hung up on the past. And you know what I'm saying? Because of that, he neglects both of us. Like, he's a bad person because of that. And I can't fault the mom for saying that. At the same time, I don't really like when people do stuff like that. You should let them decide or find out on their own how a person is. Don't paint the narrative, because that's how they're going to see them before they even have a chance to meet and learn the person for themselves. But I mean, I don't know, it's ins and outs to it. To each his own. People got their own versions of how that should go. But anyway, you know what I'm saying, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. But you have it where Iori's telling these people, these policemen, that her father is a loser, and he's thinking of her mom, and how her mom, in just a little bit of time, she's going to be able to see her mom, because her mom tells her, like, I'm gonna be in the hospital for a little bit, but I need you to stay with your father, listen to everything he says. I'll heal real fast and we'll be back to normal. And you got it where Iori picks up one of those wooden swords, and she tries to use it, and she has her eyes closed while she's swinging it. And as she swings it, she ends up hurting herself. You have it where Samura says like, yo, why do you have your eyes closed? And it's because she's trying to mimic her father, which that right there says that she doesn't totally hate him. She does look up to him to a certain extent, because if she didn't, she wouldn't try to use his sword technique. She would try to use her own. And you got it where, they're pretty much arguing and stuff like that. You have it where, they go back to the hospital to visit the mother, his ex-wife, and Samura is getting scolded by his ex-wife for allowing his daughter to get a little bump on the head. And you have it where Iori, she's in the background laughing because she thinks it's funny to see her father in trouble. And I'm not gonna lie, this was wholesome. This was very cute right here. Then you have it where they get back home. They start, Iori starts cooking. You see she's cutting her vegetables with a blade. She's holding the blade backwards, as well as holding her eyes keeping her eyes closed. And you see that she's constantly trying to do what her father does. As far as like everything she does, she's trying to do it with her eyes closed. She's trying to get used to not having sight, to be like her father. You have it where Samura explains like, yo, you're not going to be able to do what I do. I've been blind for years, plus my hearing and smell is on a whole nother level. I'm a beast. hey, yo, he's not lying. The dude is a beast. He's a straight beast. But of course, you got it where, they start having a cooking contest, and whoever food their the mom / ex-wife likes the best is the winner of the contest. They actually bring the food to her. They get her to taste it, and she says it's delicious. But as opposed to it being two separate meals, they ended up working together to make this meal. And you can see on the mom's face, she's happy. This is what she truly wanted. She wanted a bond, a relationship, a friendship to form between the daughter and father. She wanted that to happen, and that's right there has her with a smile on her face. She says she feels fantastic because she knows now that she can pass on. She could die and her daughter will be in safe hands, because of the relationship that she's formed with her father now. But you got it where the mom says like, yo, this food will have me up and at them, back together, feeling healthy in no time. Thank you for the food. But next thing you know, it goes to a panel where the mother actually passed away. You got Iori, she's sad, she's crying about it. You got Samura looking like, yo, he doesn't know what to really say to her. And then he thinks of a conversation he had with his ex-wife, while Iori was asleep. And the mother says, the ex-wife says, like, yo, I don't think I could last much longer. Samura says, you've been fighting this sickness for a whole year. You've been hanging on. You did great. And I guess Samura is aware that she did this. She fought so long against this disease so that they could form this relationship, this bond. And then you got it where she pretty much tells Samura like, yo, I'm sad. I won't be able to see her grow up. I won't be able to see her dance and do certain things. Very sad moment. I'm not gonna lie. This shit kind of hit hard. It hit really hard. But you got it where, she pretty much tells him like, yo, I leave her in your hands. And he tells her like, yo, I will take care of her. I will watch over her. Next thing you know, you have it where he approaches Iori in present day. Well, not present day. It's still a flashback. But, after the mom passing, he approaches her and lets her know that like, yo, from now on, you will be with me. And you got her crying and stuff, and he touches her for the very first time. Remember at early point in the story, he could never touch his daughter because he felt like his hands were stained with blood. But due to what happened with the ex-wife passing, he was able to get past his past and actually, console his daughter. So this right here was showing a lot of growth within Samura. So what could have happened? What could have been said to him to make him like reprogress and be like, yo, nah, I don't need to be around my daughter. If he was able to get over his past right here in this moment, something devastating had to be said to him in order for him to revert to how he is now in the current story of the series. But anyway, you have it where he walks outside, and that's when you have your boy Yura actually walking up to his house. I'm curious how Yura actually got the location of Samura. I feel like his location would be a little more secretive, in my opinion. But you got it where Yura walks up to him, says like, yo, it's pleased to meet you. And then you got Samura saying a code. This line was pretty damn cold. He's like, hey, I don't know who you are, but do me a favor. Don't make me draw my blade. Meaning Samura doesn't want any more bloodshed. He just wants a peaceful and normal life. That's what he's looking for. That's what he desires. He just want to raise his daughter in peace. You got it where Yura says like, yo, for the future, huh? Don't worry. We're just talk right here. We're just talking. let's talk about the sins that you and your lot committed. He's referring to, the war that took place all those years ago on the island. The next thing you know, they show a little glimpse of the master swordsman, and he's still sitting there in that prison cell. Like, yo, I'm telling you, this dude had to be a next level villain. But you got it where Yura says, like, yo, the disasters that will befall this country as a result from a few years from now. Yo, so he's saying in a few years, this whole country will be, will have some type of disaster. And if you look at this picture, all you see is destroyed buildings and stuff in the background. So like, what is Yura planning? What is he up to? I'm very curious to see, man. But all in all, this was a very good chapter, man. I love seeing the flashback of Iori and Samura. I'm curious what Yura said to Samura. Hopefully we get that in the next chapter where they explain a little bit more about what happened on that island. Very curious. Like, I want that more than anything. But I feel like deep down, that's something they're gonna make us wait a long time to actually see. But when we get that arc, it's going to be crazy. And also, I'm thinking it might be a situation where when we find out what really took place on that island, we won't even really look at Chihiro father the way we have been looking at him before as a hero. But then again, I don't know, maybe Chihiro father is completely unaware of what took place on the island, because maybe he wasn't on the island, maybe he just made the weapons and he can only go based off of what they told him from when they came back from the island. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see, man. There's so much mystery when it comes to that island. But let me know y'all thoughts about this chapter down below, and if you like the video, thumb it up, please subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.